Imagine you're at work and suddenly all this responsibility for research is thrust on you, and in a day and a half, you have to present something at a meeting. Not only do you have to present this, but your workload is already full of things you got to do. You've got a million things on your to-do list. You got all these urgent things that need to get done. Now you got all this pressure. You start getting anxious. Things start distracting you more easily because of all this pressure. Every little distraction seems just to magnify, doesn't it? What happens when you have too much to do, but too little time to get it done? How do you beat the stress and get things done at the high level of expectations you have for yourself? Hi, my name is John Mylant, and in this video, I am going to show you a simple and effective way to access your priorities to determine which are really priorities and which are really distractions. You guys, this is going to be powerful, and it's going to change the way you do business. So stay tuned. In 1954, former President Dwight Eisenhower gave a speech to the Council of Churches. In that speech, he quoted a president of Northwestern University, Roscoe Miller, and said this: "I have two kinds of problems, the important and the urgent. The urgent are never important, and the important are never urgent." My friends, this has been called the Eisenhower Principle, and it is how he organized his work. He mastered the skill of identifying and doing the things daily that are important, not urgent, like a lot of people end up doing. If you'd like to master this skill and you think it would help you, it's really important first to determine the difference between what's important and what's urgent. So let's do that. We will define important as activities that have an outcome that lead us to achieving our goals, whether they're personal or whether they're professional. Urgent are those activities that want immediate attention, and they're usually associated with somebody else's goals, not ours. These are the things that the majority of us focus and concentrate on and do right away because the consequences are immediate if we don't. That's why we call them urgent. When we learn to distinguish between important or urgent activities and we focus on what's important, we will overcome focusing on those urgent, unimportant activities that many of us get caught up in daily. And this will free up time for us to do the essential things that lead us to our success. So on a daily basis, we get to move from fighting fires to literally growing our business like we have in our mind's eye. There is something put together called the Eisenhower Matrix. And we're going to learn and understand how to use this. And there's 3 steps that we need to do beforehand. The first thing we do in the morning is we write down a list of all the activities and the projects that we think that we really need to address that day. Number 2, as you're doing this, write down everything, no matter how unimportant you think it might be. Now look at your list and categorize them in one of the 4 categories of the Eisenhower Matrix that you see right over here. Let's go over these 4 categories together, shall we? The first category we will call important and urgent. There are 2 distinct types of urgent and important activities that we face on a daily basis. Some that we cannot know we're going on or cannot foresee, and others that we manufacture ourselves by waiting till the last minute to do something, right? We can eliminate the latter by planning our stuff ahead of time. However, there are a lot of things out of our control that we cannot predict are going to happen to us. And you've had these experiences on a daily basis. Haven't you had the experience that a major crisis arose and you've had to reschedule and juggle your day around a little bit? It's this category that agents think they spend most of their time. They think they spend most of their time focused on urgent and important activities. But is that true? And this consists of things like responding to client inquiries, obviously, showing properties, handling transactions. Most agents think this is where they're working, but they're not. They don't realize they spend most of their time in the third quadrant of things that are urgent, but not important. That's the urgent and important category. Now let's talk about the second one, which is the important, but not urgent. These are all the activities you are doing that help you complete your personal and professional goals and get done the things that are important. So when you identify these things, make sure you get them done in a timely manner. It's when you let these things slide that they start becoming urgent. And that's not what we want. We want to focus on the things that are important. And you will have unforeseen interruptions and fires and events that develop. We all have that. So leave plenty of time to pop those into your schedule wherever you feel they need to go. My friends, this important quadrant, this is our magic zone. And I promise you, if you focus on the activities that you identify in this quadrant, your business can't help but grow. You might be thinking this, but my opinion, this category, important but not urgent, is, quote, more important than the one that says urgent and important. Now, why do I think this? Let's be honest. Things that are urgent and important, because they pop into play or because we let them slide until they have a deadline, we know those things are going to get done. But it's the important things that we need to do that don't have that instant gratification or results that we just let slide. Things like what? We push back client follow-up because we're busy. Sometimes we don't ask for referrals because we're busy doing other things. We don't update our database. If you're really into social media and you're supposed to be putting stuff up there and you're not doing it, these are important things that add to the framework and create the momentum for our real estate business to succeed, that we're constantly pushing back and we're going to do it later. But later never comes. That's why we're always stuck in category 3. We are not doing the things that are important. And that brings us to category 3, the things that are not important, but they are urgent. These are the activities that we are involved in, but man, these activities actually prevent us from reaching our goal, unlike category 2. Can these activities be rescheduled or delegated? These are usually brought up by other people, and sometimes we need to learn to say no and stop solving people's problems. Let them solve their own. Often it's responding to some certain emails, texts, even clients calling sometimes for things that are really not important, that we shouldn't be doing at the moment. If someone needs to meet with you or talk with you about something, find a time to schedule it. Everybody wants to do it now, but that doesn't mean that you need to do it now. These are supportive tasks that can be done, but they need to be scheduled at an appropriate time, or if it's not something you need to do, pass it off to someone else to get done. And this brings us to the 4th quadrant or category, the activities that are not important, nor are they urgent. My friends, these are pure distractions and they should be avoided at all costs. These could be activities that you can avoid yourself, or they could be activities that others want to bring upon you that have no focus on you getting where you want to go, but they just add to your plate. If you know where you're going, you'll be able to identify these activities very quickly. And when you do, politely decline. And sometimes we're guilty of doing stuff like this ourselves. What can you relate to with this? Sometimes we get involved in mindless social media scrolling, right? Surfing the internet, online shopping, maybe watching something on Netflix for a little bit. Listen, there's nothing wrong with these activities. It's where they're placed. These are not appropriate activities while we have our work day scheduled. That's what the problem is. These are the four quadrants. So when you have your list for the day, identify the things that are important and not urgent. Do those first. You will always do the things that are important and urgent. You'll always get those done. Try to take the things that are just urgent and put them at the bottom, and the things that are not important and not urgent, get rid of them altogether. Burn them. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? I mean, how hard is that to do? Follow those instructions every day. But let me tell you something. It's not that easy. We have obstacles that literally stop us from doing these things. There was a study done by the Journal of Consumer Research. They set out to examine how people decide on what to work on when they face things that are urgent and important. Across 5 separate experiments, researchers observed a very curious pattern. It seems that our attention is drawn to time-sensitive tasks over tasks that are less urgent, even when these less urgent tasks offer a greater reward. We are more apt to put tasks with a deadline ahead of tasks that may offer us a greater long-term reward. Self-described busy people gravitate more toward urgent tasks with lower payouts because they're already focused on the task and its duration. If you're already feeling this time crunch and caught up in it, you're more apt to gravitate toward tasks that keep you focused on the clock. Why? Because it's a habit you've developed. And as we all know, changing a habit is not that easy. So why is this important? Why does it matter? Why should we focus on tasks that are important first, above all things, and not urgent and important? Why does this matter? Urgent, but not important tasks keep you busy, but they don't get you where you want to go. Urgent and important that we manufacture ourselves because of our procrastination constantly keeps us under the gun and is a product creating stress and anxiety in our life, which is not good for prosperity in our business. The important tasks that are not urgent are the things that we need to do that are going to get us where we want to go in life and in our business, my friends. It was President Eisenhower a long, long time ago who introduced to us the concept of categorizing activities that we have to do daily for our business as either important or urgent. Be aware of how you conduct your day and identify that you might be involved in doing all the urgent activities that need to be done every day, even though you think you might be doing what's important. Be aware that if you have a habit of procrastinating, you are creating urgent and important activities constantly. These are self-manufactured, and they're putting you under the gun. They're bringing you that stress and they're bringing you that anxiety, and you, my friends, are manufacturing this yourself. So build the new habit of identifying the things that are important and put them at the top of your list and get them done, because they are going to get you where you want to go. You got this. You can do this. What President Eisenhower introduced to us is easy and simple to implement. Yes, you're going to have urgent and important activities are going to pop up that are out of your control, and you can put them in place where you feel they need to go each and every day. But most of the stuff that you're going to do is in your field, and you're the one that can easily identify what's important to do. You dream. You have desires and ambition for your career or for your retirement or whatever. These come from within you, and they have a reason to exist because you're supposed to bring them to life. The only way you're going to bring them to life is when you are focused on the things that are important. Every time you're focused on the things that are just urgent, it's taking you away from where you want to go, and you can never get that time back. Focus, my friends, on what's important. It's going to bring those dreams that were born from your heart to life.